7 p.m. we'll call the meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West, held in council chambers at 216 Main Street, Swan River, Manitoba. It's 25th day of February 2025 at 7 p.m. Present this evening, myself, Reeve, Gade, Councillors Burick, Blosha, Zbirun, Neely, Kushniryk, and McGregor. Our CAO, Kristi, Ronnquist is here. Videographer Jeremy Bergen is here. And we have some guests both on the telephone and in the gallery tonight. Starting to the agenda at number 2, adopting the agenda. Be it resolved, the agenda for the regular meeting of council held this 25th day of February 2025 shall be adopted as presented. Is there a mover? Councillor Blosha. I saw Councillor Burick seconds. We'll take him. Any changes, additions, deletions to the agenda tonight? Hearing nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. Heading to number 3, adopting the minutes. Be it resolved, the minutes of the regular council meeting held February 11th, 2025 shall be adopted as presented. Is there a mover? Councillor Neely, and someone to second the resolution? Councillor Zbirun. Copy of the minutes are attached to the agenda. Has everybody had a chance to review those? Are there any errors or omissions tonight that we should fix? Anyone need more time? Hearing nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. We do have a couple delegations scheduled tonight. The first one's at 7:10, next is at 7:20, so we'll carry on with the meeting for a bit and come back to those. I see the first delegation doesn't look to be here quite yet. Well, number 8, financial items, General Cheques. Be it resolved, the council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West hereby approves the following payments. General Cheques number 20303 to 20356, the amount of $201,376.44. Is there someone that wishes to move the resolution? Councillor Kushniryk, someone to second. I see Councillor McGregor. I have the checks and more importantly the invoices here. Who would like to start us off with questions tonight?
Oh, Carrie.
I got it. But
Okay, go ahead.
23rd, 20305. I wondered what that one was. It is a survey, I understand, but for what?
20305, this is for Northwest 17, 3429. New Fire Hall.
Okay, that answers that.
Next.
So far, that was my only one.
Alright, who's next? Oh, come on, guys. Don't let her be the only one to ask a question.
Nothing pops out, but
You'll see some repair stuff in there. The A&M is the normal fuel for most of it. There's some Brent tractor, there's some cat stuff for some various grader repairs in there. Otherwise, much of it's probably pretty self-explanatory. The Deer Financial, there's a fair amount of oil in there because we lost the oil twice in a grader.
Is that what you want?
Yeah. Oh, no, still don't have that thing.
And there's progress billing from Myers Norris Pennies, which is a good sign that we're getting very close to done. Anybody else with questions on any of those? If you think of something later on, you're welcome to give Kristi a call and ask all about it.
I'll start over again.
If there's nothing else, we'll call the question on the resolution. Those in favor? That's carried. For budget 2025 tonight, we're looking to do some date setting if we could. We're looking after mid-March, I think, because of an absence. So is that week of the 17th? Does that start to be okay?
Yeah.
So what do people have available that we could do the 17th week for a night for some budgeting? Anything?
As long as not the 17th, but any day.
Something later on?
Yeah, any day after that.
How would people feel? That Tuesday would be LED, right? So you want to stay away from that? Can we look at the 19th or the 20th? Would that work for anybody?
20th, how about the 20th?
That's a Thursday.
That's the Thursday.
I'd rather do the Wednesday.
That sound good?
Wednesday the 19th?
20th, watershed, 20th.
Watershed?
I'm thinking it's the third Thursday of the month.
Yes, that's third Thursday.
So I don't think the 20th would work.
Okay. How could the 19th work for people? Would that be fairly agreeable?
that's Wednesday.
That's a Wednesday. Yeah.
Good for me.
Okay, if it has to move, please tell us sooner rather than later. We'll put it on the agenda for 7 p.m. Works for everybody, or do you want to do earlier?
It's good.
Sounds good. Okay, so 7 p.m. on the 19th, we'll do a budget meeting. Anything else on the budget stuff? let's go to 9.1, safety meeting guidelines. So as you know, we've been running a safety committee. We've been having some discussions with the rep from the Manitoba government on that. Because of our size, he's suggesting we really don't need to run a full safety committee. And so we're wondering if council is agreeable to having the safety officer work with the CAO and not having those committee meetings anymore. Would that be suitable? Does anyone have concerns about that? No. So we'd still do the basic stuff. She'd still do the sweeps of the shops and such, just instead of coming here and all getting together, she'll just deal with it with the CAO more directly. And then if there's anything that needs to come here, it'll still come in a meeting, but rather than holding something separate. Everybody's okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Let's go to 9.2, transfer utility tax roll. Whereas various accounts remain unpaid, therefore be it resolved the following utility accounts be moved to taxes. Roll 316800, $1,112.42. Roll 322400, $1,956.98. Roll 320900, $1,202.91. Roll 315500, $915.19. Roll 304100 for $877.93. Is there someone that wishes to move the resolution? Councillor Neely. There's a second
I'm
for
looking for
Councillor
Benito
McGregor.
here.
Any discussion on moving these to taxes?
So what are these accounts?
These are water bills that were not paid,
Oh,
so we're moving over to taxes. One of them is a rental where the renters didn't pay the water bill, so we're now moving it over. There's another one there that is a resident that is just not paying.
Okay.
So we're gonna put on to taxes to make sure we get the money.
okay.
If you want the individuals who they are,
No,
just be in
sounds good.
camera,
No,
but you can ask later if you want.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, put on the left, right one, I need up.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, but you have it.
Hearing nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favor?
You have
That's carried.
it. You have two screen open.
9.3 is back on the agenda tonight at the request of Councillor Burick. So what's here so far is the resolution we passed a few meetings ago, whereas the security and safety of our medical professionals of the utmost importance, and whereas this council has received complaints regarding the lack of security at the Swan Valley Hospital during the overnight hours, be it resolved to send a letter of encouragement for increased security at the PMH facility. So that has been passed already, but Councillor Burick wanted to speak a little more on the security issues there.
Well, Bill's interesting things has been posted February 13th. This is the Manitoba Nurses Union says that calls to RCMP from the Swan River Valley Health Center have been increasing from 98 in 2021 to more than 200 in 2024. Union says nearly 1 in 4 security shifts at the facility went unfulfilled in 2024, leaving nurses and patients without the support and safety provided by trained security personnel. It's still an ongoing thing. They're not getting 24/7 security. It's better, but there's still some evenings there's no security. And I understand the cameras aren't working, all of them. So I just wanted a letter to PRHA,
PMH.
Prairie Mountain Health, and what's the other one?
Shared health.
Prairie Mountain Health, and the other one's PRHA?
PMH is the Parkland Regional Assistant.
Okay. Anyways, just to send a resolution in there asking to, whatever that resolution says, to
Okay.
continue improving it, but
So
24/7 security is a must. It's gotta be a must.
Would you be okay with us just sending another letter with the same resolution saying, we're just looking for an update, this doesn't
Yeah,
appear to be
yeah,
resolved?
that's fine,
That'd be
yeah,
okay.
just so that they're aware that we know there's a concern and to address it.
Would you like it in one of the red envelopes?
Maybe I should personally deliver it.
Okay,
No, but just so that they know that we are aware of the situation and we want action taken.
okay,
And we'll keep asking until it's done. But 24/7 security is a must.
okay, and also mention the cameras.
And cameras too, yeah.
Okay.
Because
We'll make that
the
right now.
safety of around ER, I think in the evening, I think there's only 2 nurses on shift. So, yeah.
All right. That is noted on our list of things to do, and we will get it taken care of. It's almost 7:10, so we'll jump out of the agenda, and we will head to our first delegation of the evening. I see they're here. So joining us from the Swan Valley Crisis Center is Duchesne. Come on up. Welcome, good to have you.
Hi.
There's some information that Crystal provided already attached to the agenda, so if you folks have not seen it already, you can take a peek, but otherwise the floor is yours.
Hi everyone, Crystal Duchesne from the center. I wanted to provide you with that information. It's a project we're starting to look at. We're in a very old building that needs about $500,000 worth of work, I'm told. Upgrades and to make it accessible, such as, the property's not big enough. So the Friendship Center did grant us a piece of property if we can get funding for our project. So right now we're in pre-development phase, which is very expensive. We were granted money from Women's Shelter Canada, FCM, and we'll be getting more money from FCM. And with that, and we've just started to go local, like I met with the town last week and you guys, and I've reached out to our First Nation communities and organizations, corporations as such. So I'm here looking for support in any way that you guys can get it, or if you have any questions about our plan that we're proposing.
Can you tell us the amounts and where you're hoping some of that comes from?
Okay, so pre-development right now, we've gotten about $100,000 so far in pre-development. We have, we've probably got about 37 applications out for funding, and we've received just getting various small ones, like for example, the Kinsman Club in Winnipeg has given us $10,000 towards pre-development, things like that. FCM, we're hoping to get another $250,000 from. With that money, we will be able to hopefully complete Class A estimates. Right now, we've completed the survey of the land, the environmental site assessment, geotechnical analysis of the land, and almost done Class B estimates. And that's at about $140,000 expense for that, and then we're looking at about $173,000 for the Class A estimate alone. So we're looking for funding is what we're doing, or any support. And support could be in the form of a support letter. In the past, I have requested a little bit of annual funding, and we have received, I think it was $300 maybe annually if I sent a letter in. So even, anything would be appreciated. Once we get the pre-development cost paid for, we can submit to CMHC for 100% of the capital expenses. Hopefully, between them and the province, we've got a grant in, or an application for $1 million, and a little bit of pre-development too for 280. So with that and the federal funding, if we can get it, we're hoping all capital expenses will be paid for. We don't know. You have to spend a lot of money to get that application ready, and there's no guarantee on whether they approve us or not. But there is a really huge housing need in the valley, especially affordable housing for single people. Well, we deal with women and children, so that's who we would be servicing. 12 units, and we'll keep the 4 we have currently too for transitional housing. And transitional housing is, we're with our clients 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. So we try and wrap around supports with counseling, life skills, budgeting, investments, paying down debt, job readiness, stuff like that, to get them ready to get into community on their own, sort of thing.
So if you had to distill what you would hope we would do most, can you kind of give us a picture of what you're hoping for?
Like a check? Is that what you're
Like,
yeah.
what do you, like how much do you
You know-
Blank one would be good.
Well, I've never, I don't know what your budgets look like. And I don't want to put a number on anything, but we are appreciative of really anything. We've invested about $50,000 of our own money, and I know we got to have some skin in the game, but it wasn't easy to accumulate that money in the nonprofit. So, you know, our goal is to at least kind of start to recoup of what we have so we can put it back in our little reserve fund, which isn't that big to begin with. But like I said, anything, if you guys have it in your budget or see I think our project is very important for the valley. We serve the whole valley, we've served from Camperville to Barrows to, we've taken clients from the city when the shelter system's full. We've unfortunately had to transfer many people out of community too because of our facility being full. So we're hoping this alleviates a little bit of stress on community. Also, we do work with some very vulnerable clients who are not easy to work with, and I know our little shelter can take a little bit of stress off services like justice, emergency room, things like that too. So, whatever you guys... We'd appreciate anything. I did bring you my stats and a brochure if you're interested in some more information. I do have our audit from last year if you require that too, if you'd like it, and if you have any questions. Or...
Sure, around the table, there's lots. Who wants to go first for questions?
Location is by the Friendship Center.
The location is, I think it's 1315 First Street North, so it'd be just down from the Echo Apartments. Do you know where that?
Yeah.
No.
Where Echo Apartments
Kind of on the same street as our swimming pool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Behind Napa?
Okay.
Behind Napa?
It's a good position. It scores high in points on a CMHC application for easy access to schools, recreation, shopping, such.
Is that behind Napa, roughly?
Yeah. I think
Napa's got that.
Holly
big-
Markin has the dental office, yeah, kind of in there, yeah.
Okay.
It's a big enough property for what we've already have our, I guess, our sketches and stuff like that, but that's the piece of property that's gifted to us if we can
Okay.
get the funding. Because we don't want it otherwise,
So it's just
yeah.
one big building?
It's gonna be one building, the front of the building. We'll have a women's resource center, we call it. So it's kind of like a drop-in section where we can meet people. We have offices for counseling because we do women and children counseling. And there'll also be a healing room because we do have a large Indigenous population here. So we thought that would be very nice for community. And that part of their building is always accessible to anybody in the public. Women, we do service men, we do with domestic violence and anger management and parenting sessions with men. All our services are free. But we just thought the healing room would be important for our Indigenous community. So that'll be at the front of the building, and the back end of the building has 12 transitional units. Yeah.
I see by the information you sent us, there's no other centers closer than Brandon or Thompson.
Well, we have, not for transitional housing. Dauphin has a women's crisis, it's called Parkland Crisis Center, and they house women for 30 days. So the system works as you can take a client in for 30 days and the province will pay for their stay. After that, they have to leave. We are transitional housing, so we can keep clients. The province will pay for their first 30 days, then we rent to them at an affordable rate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for
But that map you
a
sent-
year or two we can do.
That map you sent us, it didn't really have Dauphin on there, so I
Oh,
don't think it did anyway.
I'm not sure.
Thompson and Winnipeg, yeah.
Thompson,
Oh, I
right.
think, yeah, because that goes out just to give us an idea of where we're located. But I think
Oh.
it might have in the wording that there is one close to
okay.
us, yeah.
So you could fill up pretty quick then, and is that your idea, is just to fill up with certain, once the people are in there, they stay in there for?
We'd like to, if they work our program, if they don't work our program and they can't follow our rules or not ready to make that change, then they can't, because we have to worry about the safety of.
So you'll have 16 units in total.
Yeah, we'll keep the
What's the
ones,
other one?
yeah, yeah.
You got four, you said four now?
We have four
Four.
right now, yeah. Yeah.
Anybody else? So we're going into budgeting in the next few weeks, so we won't make any promises tonight,
Yeah,
but
no,
we'll certainly have a good discussion on it.
sounds good.
And you have an application for the community foundation?
I got one in.
No, you didn't. It's on my desk, but I'm gonna drive.
Oh,
over
you're
there
gonna.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
My desk, I'm like,
I-
I don't know why I have this, and then I realized what happened, so I'll get it there.
Yeah, I guess they don't, they're understaffed, yeah. Yeah, but thank you, yeah, please get it in. We're trying everywhere, yeah. I mean, unless you guys have ideas of where to reach out for some different funding too, I mean, it's hard to find, especially at pre-development stage, it's a tough one, but we're trying.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Good, did you want this information?
Yes, please.
Keep it, alrighty, okay, thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we'll get, Kristi to scan this and throw it up so we can all see it. We'll take a peek. That brings us quite nicely to 7:20. So that's our second delegation, which is Mr. Reynolds. Welcome, good to see you again.
Yeah, it's been a while. Sad I'm here again talking about the same stuff I've been talking about for 7 years, but here we are. Okay, so recently, this came out in the mail, and I found out, CEO told me, this doesn't reflect council, this document, only Mr. Gade. Unfortunately, there's a lot of context in here about council and what council's done and what council hasn't done. So we'll start off with the library. Just a way of background. I came to this office and asked for everyone's how much money they get paid. And I came across that taxpayers are being billed for council members to go to the library meetings. They bill for it. Mr. Gade admitted he's done it. I don't know if Mr. McGregor's done it. I know you've done it because I've seen the claims. And my issue is the Library Act says you're not allowed to get paid for them services. It's an actual act. 24(2) of the Public Libraries Act, excuse me, says you're to receive no remittance. And my second concern I had is we have 2 members on the board. 2. The Library Act says we're only allowed to have 1. So I guess we'll kind of go backwards. Why do we have 2? Like, why is there 2 on there when the act says we're only allowed to have 1?
So you want to go through your whole presentation and we'll answer your questions, or do you want to be like back and forth the whole time? What do you kind of prefer?
Well, that's what I mean. Instead of going back and forth,
Yeah.
because I got other issues I want to talk about, instead of saying them all and then jumping all over the place, hey, I'll do whatever you want. We can address them as they happen, or I'll just spew off a bunch of shit and then we'll sort it out after.
Okay, well, if you want, like, library, is that everything for the library? Tell us everything for the library first, and then we'll.
Okay, so the library, like I said, the act says that you are not supposed to be paid for your services. It's in the act. I can read it to you. It's on my phone. You guys can all Google it. It says you're not entitled to be paid. But yet so my question is, why is my tax dollars going to something, to council members, that they're not entitled to receive, according to the act? Why is my tax dollars going to that?
And then the second part is the 2 members.
The
council.
2 of them, because it says you're only entitled to 1.
Okay. So it isn't 24(2). You said 24(2) says that. That's not where the act says it. It's actually 24(1).
Hang on.
And then 24(2), that speaks to the 2 members part. 24(5) is the
Can we
immigration
just,
section.
I got the act right on my phone.
So do I.
Okay, so I was saying that we're only allowed to have 1.
You said 24(2) says you're not allowed to be paid. That's not correct.
Okay, hang on, I'll clarify.
Okay.
That's why I'm glad we're doing it in this order. And maybe you can read it then, where 24(2), what it says.
24(2) says of the members comprising a regional library board under subsection 1.
Well, it has a heading on top of it though. You're missing the heading.
Says 1 member to be a councillor.
Correct.
24(2) of the members comprising a regional library board under subsection 1. 1 member from each municipality represented on the board shall be a member of the council of the municipality.
Right.
Doesn't say only 1.
Yes, it does. It says 1.
Show me where the word only appears.
Shall.
It's not only. One
Shall. Okay, so we're gonna place cement, okay, that's your answer? Is that the answer
that's-
I'm getting from this meeting? Is you're saying that even though the heading says only one member, you're saying it doesn't say one member? I just wanna be quite clear on what's being said here tonight.
So I'm willing to speak, but not if you're going to interrupt.
Sure.
You're gonna need to stop until I'm done.
Okay, cool.
So it does not say only one, it says one. The purpose of the act is to ensure there's at least one member of council represented on the library board, so you don't form a library board and send it off into the hinterland without any supervision. The act requires a member of council be there. Now it says shall, but it does not say only. Nowhere in the act does it say only one. This is a discussion I've had extensively with public library services.
Me too.
The word only does not appear. One member shall be, and at least one member is. In this particular case, there's two. Swan Valley West has temporarily assigned a second member of council until the library board stabilizes, which, good news, it's beginning to do so. The library board was so far in debt a couple of years ago, it was at risk of closure, which is why council took the extraordinary step of assigning a second member to bring stability to the board.
By resolution?
Yes.
So we had a resolution passed, everyone voted on it to go in contradiction of the act. Because we both agree that the heading for the act, 24.2, says one member to be a council member. Then it says one member from each municipality shall be a member of the board. One member. It's in black and white. I didn't write this. This is not my writing. This is the act. It says one member, but I fully understand, and I will take to what you're saying. You're saying that's not what it says. You're saying you can have as many as you want.
It says one shall be,
Right, one.
but not the word only.
One.
One shall be and one is.
Right, one. Okay, so we're in agreement. It says one.
We're in agreement, we're in compliance with the act.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we'll move forward. How about then going to, because I think I misquoted it.
24.5.
Yep, 24.5.
So could you also tell us what section 40 says?
Section 40 of what?
The Public Libraries Act.
Section 40.
Please read us section 40.
Is it under the Regional Library Act?
No, it's under the Public Libraries Act, section 40.
Section 40, well, the act which revolves around the, what do we call it, regional library, ends at section 32.
So section 40, if you could just read that, including the title, please.
Yeah, okay, under section 40, I haven't got there. It's under the heading Federation of Regional and Municipal Public Libraries.
Actually, it's section 40.
Hang on. Section 40. Out-of-pocket expenses.
Correct? Keep going.
Yep, okay. Keep going and
What
what?
does it say?
A member of a municipal public library board or regional library board or federation may be paid actual expenses necessary, out-of-pocket expenses occur to him by discarding the stuff with regards to this act.
That's correct. Thank you.
Right. Right, but that's not what the act says.
You just read that from
No,
that.
you made me read a part of the act that is not to do with this actual section 3, which specifically outlines what happens with the regional library.
I know you don't like.
You
people-
could, well, no, but I can also say, well, let's read. No, not that we're arguing. Well, let's read if we're gonna play semantics. Can you read out loud? Hang on, let me find it. In one of the earlier sections.
24.5 is the other section. That's
No,
all.
no, earlier.
So we've got about 10 minutes left.
Okay. 15.3.
I don't have 15.3 in front of me. I have the sections that you told me.
No member of a board shall receive any remunerations for his services. 15.3. It says
15.3 is not part of the regional library portion of the act.
nor is the part that you read.
Actually, mine is.
It isn't, because there's headings under each of them, but we'll agree to disagree.
So it specifically says, Andrew, let's be clear, a member of a municipal public library board or a regional library board, which is what we have, or federation board, which is the federation which we don't have, may be paid such actual necessary out-of-pocket expenses as are incurred by him in discharging his duties under this act. It's fully on point to to a regional library board, and I'm sorry that you didn't read that part before you.
Oh, no, I did read it, and I've had conversations with the actual people that wrote this act.
And you've also had conversations with the library, I believe. So how much money has the library spent on members of council?
Oh, I don't know.
Zero.
$0.
The library board does not pay council.
No,
And
my
and
tax
just so
dollars
you know,
paying it. I never said the library
Years
board.
ago,
Okay.
years ago, I did ask that question, and our former CEO made sure to look it up and made sure that I wasn't charging for something that I wasn't supposed to.
No.
So I know that's true.
Oh, no, never
So I
once
would
have I
never do that.
said, never once did I say the library board is paying it. I said my tax dollars are paying it. That's what I said.
So if you're asking specifically where your tax dollars are paying for councillors to do their job, it's
Yeah.
because we do compensate councillors for the work they do for council.
Right, so, and the reason we have two of them is because why again?
Because the library was very unstable. It was running a massive deficit and at risk of closure. And we assigned a second member to provide stability to the board until the situation improved.
And your argument is you're allowed to do that?
Yes.
Your argument is you're allowed to do it?
We spoke to Public Library Services about it.
So if there was problems before, and we were paying someone to go there, how come they weren't fired?
Who did you want fired?
Well, you said that there was problems with the board,
There was.
with problems doing stuff. Well, most of the board is done by councillors.
No,
We've had the councillor on there forever. The town has councillors on it.
the town has a councillor.
Right. So how come if there was all these problems, how come we didn't go to the root of the problem, the people that are in charge? Because it is your duty to run the library properly. And if we as taxpayers are paying someone to go there and do that job, and then I find out that, well, they weren't doing that job, so we had to send another person. So why didn't you fire the first person?
They're no longer there.
Pardon?
They're no longer there.
What do you mean they're no longer there?
That board member's no longer there.
From council, we have two of them. They're still there. You said they're there.
With these current assignees are there, but we were both assigned at the time that there was troubles with the library.
Right, but apparently according to this letter, they're fixed.
Getting very close to it, yes. The library's running on budget, even
Right.
hoping to put a bit of money in reserves this year.
So then why do we have two then?
Because we have not yet withdrawn the second assigned member. When the
Okay.
council feels it appropriate, we will.
Okay, moving on to Kenville. I don't understand your comments you made about there's gonna be some people that are gonna be upset.
There are people upset in Canada. I think we kind of have proof of that.
Yeah, but you said both sides. Okay, but, so what, there's the people that want bylaws enforced and people that don't?
We actually get equal number of complaints about both sides of the dog issue in Canada.
Both sides, that's where I'm confused. What's the other side?
We get several complaints about you from members of people in Canada that have dogs. And so we've had complaints from both people.
That my dogs are running at large? My dog, that I'm in violation of bylaws?
Didn't
No one's
say
ever
that.
told me that.
Didn't say that. If we feel you're in violation of a bylaw, we'll be in touch.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you will, instantly, unlike the other people. So there's two sides of the story, and people have made complaints about me, but I'm not in violation of the bylaws. And the people that are making their complaints arguably are probably the ones in violation of the bylaw. So the people that are gonna be upset are, I just wanna confirm, who's the ones that are gonna be upset?
Both.
The lawbreakers or the law abiders?
Well, it's a bylaw, so it's not actually a law. It's a little different.
A bylaw is still a law, that's why it's called a bylaw.
No, if it was a law, it would be called an act. A bylaw is a bylaw. But in any
Okay.
case, I believe what the comments were trying to convey is that both people that think there should be tighter control on animals and people that think there should be looser control on animals, neither side will be completely happy because council has to choose to somehow be in the middle and
But
try to make something that works for the entire community.
But council's already in the middle. Council has already written a bylaw,
We have,
and you're not enforcing it.
we are
The
working on
dog catcher's not enforcing it. I write complaints and no one comes. Or the dog catcher comes and then bills taxpayers for coming there and does nothing. That's why I stopped making complaints, because taxpayers are being punished.
We thought the problem had gone away because we hadn't heard from you.
Oh, no. The CEO can confirm that's not true. I've done online complaints too. The problem hasn't gone away. The process of making complaints has gone away because it's frivolous. I make a complaint saying dogs running it loose. Council's come to town, you've come to town, you witness it all, and nothing's happened.
So to be clear, we never said your complaints were frivolous. You did, just now, but we didn't consider your complaints frivolous.
They're frivolous because you don't action them.
Well, frivolous would mean you're filing them for no reason. I
Okay,
don't think that's
you're
not what
right.
you're doing.
Absolutely, I stand corrected. But my complaints go unanswered.
We have investigated several times, and we continue to work on the issue. We wish it was resolved already.
Okay, so we're going into year 8 now. For the record, for 8 years now, we're going into a new year, and then we're going to do what? Some people are going to be upset by this. So the solution is what in the interim? What do I do every day when dogs are running at large in Kenville? What do I do?
You can continue to file complaints. We'll continue to send our animal control officer to investigate them.
And bill the taxpayer,
That's what he does when he goes up.
and doesn't catch the dogs. How many fines have been issued?
I believe 2, but it may only be 1.
That's it?
Check.
2. How many dogs have been seized, dangerous dogs? Because I put complaints in about dangerous dogs. How many of them dogs have been seized?
Well, that's actually where a lot of the other complaints come from, is whether or not those are valid complaints in the first place.
Well, that's kind of weird because I made the complaints and no one's contacted me about it to see if it's valid.
So which specific dangerous dog complaint are you speaking of?
I am not going to do it unless you go on camera. I'll say names.
No, I'm not interested in names, like where you bit
Well, I
by a
am,
dog.
because if you need to know the dogs, you need to know the owners.
I'm trying to understand, were you bit by a dog?
Not yet.
So then... if
I
you
carry
did bite
dog
you-
spray when I cut my grass, shovel my driveway.
So generally, a dangerous dog to us means that a dog that's bit somebody.
No, it doesn't, not according to your bylaw.
Okay, but that's what I was assuming you meant was a dog.
Oh, no, you have to just be in fear of it according to the bylaw. You just have to be in fear of it.
So do you fear...
That's your bylaw.
Do you fear a lot of dogs?
Only the ones that are running at large and come running at you, trying to bite you. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Or the dogs that have attacked other dogs, which council is aware of.
Which we also investigated.
And,
Found the complaint unsubstantiated.
really, so when a dog gets bitten, it goes to the vet, that's unsubstantiated. Who bit it, the owner? Come on, man.
I understand your concerns, I get them. I don't disagree with you on the animal issue in Canada.
Okay, but then what are we gonna do about it?
When the complaint couldn't be substantiated, there was nothing we could do about the dog that bit another dog.
Okay, so when I send in pictures of a dog running at large, what does that prove?
We're going in circles.
No, does that prove that a dog's running at large? Does it substantiate it?
It should.
It should?
It should.
How about it does?
I guess it depends a little bit on the circumstances. For example, if you went and got a dog and put it someplace and took a picture, the circumstances would be important. If the dog was running large on its own, it would probably substantiate it. We continue to investigate the dog issue. I don't think anybody in this particular room is happy with how that's turned out so far, but we continue to work on it.
Right, but you're the people that can fix it. I have to come to you. I have to come to council. I have to put complaints in, and all I hear is you're aware of it and you're continuing to look into it. For 7 years.
Unfortunately, yes.
So that's the answer. Fortunately, yes.
I can't share the complaint details of investigations that are ongoing, because they're ongoing investigations.
Well, I'll
Not
gladly
all
wait
closed.
and go on camera and you can talk to me about mine because it's my name.
Yes,
It's
but
not confidential then.
Not all of the details of the investigation relate to you.
Pardon me?
We can't share the details that don't relate specifically to you.
Okay. All right. So, but you're investigating it, according to you,
We have
and you're
not given up.
investigating complaints against me. This is what you told
I said
me.
we've had complaints against you.
Right. So when is someone going to contact me about this investigation, about the allegations made against me?
Didn't appear to be a bylaw violation, so I don't think we're gonna move forward on
So there was no investigation.
it.
I'm confused.
We looked at what the complaints were. It wasn't a bylaw issue. There was nothing in the bylaw that you had violated, so we didn't move forward.
Right. I've never violated any bylaws. Right. But other people
We
have.
don't have a bylaw against the things they say you do in Campbell, so
No, but we have a bylaw saying stuff you can't do.
I understand.
Like let your dogs run at large, but yet it happens every day. I welcome any of you guys hop my truck right now and go to Kenville. You're gonna be greeted by dogs running at large. Then what?
Council-
Make a complaint?
Council has all been asked to go and look at the dogs in Kenville, and they
And?
have.
Well, what was the consensus? Since council's all here, is there a dog problem in Kenville?
Most council found dogs running at large in Kenville.
Right, okay, but haven't done nothing.
Continue to try to resolve the issue.
Okay. So the bylaw basically isn't worth the paper it's written on.
Unfortunately, the bylaw isn't enforced the way you would like it to be, clearly.
No, I would like it enforced the way you guys wrote it. I didn't write the bylaw. I'm not on council. It's not my bylaw. You guys wrote it. It's yours. And now you're telling me you're not enforcing it.
We continue to work on the enforcement.
Okay. When I've asked, like, what have you done? You've written one ticket in 7 years. So that's how council works on it. All the taxpayers watching this should, like, listen up. This is what our council does. For 7 years of complaints, you wrote one ticket. And this is what my tax dollars pay for? Really? Really? That's what you're telling me, honestly, to my face, right here. You're working on it.
I would love to tell you more, but I'm not able to.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Do you have any other concerns?
I do, but another day.
So,
Unless you got more time.
well, I have some concerns.
Okay, sure.
So, my concerns is how you're treating our staff.
What's that?
My concern is how you're treating our staff
Sure.
and the staff of the library. I'd like you to be mindful of being respectful to them and understand that they're staff. When you have a concern with council, as you can see tonight, we're perfectly happy to have you come and speak to us.
Well, you have to. So don't put it out there that you're doing me a solid.
Well,
I'm
I think-
redressing my grievances with my government. It's chartered right. You're not doing me no favors.
I think you're not.
I'm exercising my rights.
You're not hearing what I'm saying.
Oh, I know, because you're speaking gibberish.
No, specifically, I said we're.
You're
happy.
saying you allowed me to come and say whatever. No,
Was there a
no.
chance you were going to
The
stop
chartered
speaking?
rights allowed me to do this. Not you,
You have a real
or
problem
you, or you, or you, or you.
with waiting for an answer, don't you?
Well, no, because it's what you said, and I'm just correcting what you said. It's not true.
Are you done now?
I'm not here because you allowed me. I'm here because I'm allowed to be here.
How
Not
about
because you allowed me. Okay, carry on.
Thank you. I said we're happy to have you here. We don't have to be happy to have you here. Yes, we have to have you here, but we're actually happy you came. We're glad you come and express your concerns. But when your concern is with council, it would be nice if you don't take it out on the staff. The staff doesn't need lectures about what you think of them or council. The staff doesn't need to be threatened. The staff doesn't need to be calling. The library staff have concerns over whatever show went on there when you showed up at the library. When I was here the other day and you were addressing a concern with the CAO and you refused to speak to me even though your concern was
You
that was
left and came into a
inappropriate.
meeting.
You didn't speak to me.
I didn't know you were here. Let's
I
not play
walked up and
semantics.
said hello.
You
You
walked
could speak
out.
to me.
I'll agree 100% on camera. You walked out of the door.
I tried to speak
I was
to
at
you.
the counter, and then two other dudes walked in this door, walked in, and you immediately walked in here. And me and you never said a word to each other.
Because you wouldn't stop harassing the CAO.
Harassing. So to be clear, me redressing my government is harassing now. I've only just begun then.
So tell us the issue you were addressing with the CAO at the time,
Your letter.
correct?
And she
The issue.
corrected me and said, I thought this was from council. And she said, no, that's your political stance. Or words to that effect.
What was your concern with the title Reeve being in it?
You tell me.
From what I
You're making
understand-
allegations against me that I'm harassing people, which I never have. I've redressed my grievances. You call it harassment. Who did I harass? Let's go backwards. Who did I harass?
So you have an issue with it saying Reeve in the book?
Who did I harass?
So the act makes clear.
No,
that it
my
does not
point
mean-
with the Reeve, I'll address that simply, because on here it says Reeve.
Correct.
Right. But then I'm told, but this has nothing to do with the municipality.
So it says
Nothing.
that on the front page, it explains
Nothing.
that, right?
But it's signed Reeve, and then you go on and talk about council in here. I read some of it. So you're having your cake and eating it too.
So,
Was there discussions for taxpayers to pay for this?
did you read the book at all?
I did. I'm asking on camera, was there discussions about getting taxpayers to pay for this?
Did taxpayers pay for it?
That's not my question. Was there discussions within council to pay for this?
It says in the book there was.
Right. So therefore, most of this is RM stuff. It's all the municipality stuff in this letter. The only difference is it's your opinion and your opinion only, but then you went on to speak about council, what council's done. Council's done, and you signed it Reeve. Didn't say just your name, Bill Gade, it said Reeve.
Right.
And it's in the same context as the letter from the year before, right? Where it never had the preamble saying this is my opinion. So the average person would look at that and go, this is from the municipality. How could you not? I got it, and the first thing I did when I saw it is, oh, this is from the RM saying what they've done. It's an update. But then I find out, no, this isn't from the municipality, this is from you. That's why I addressed it with the CEO. I didn't come in here yelling and screaming at her. We had a discussion. We've had multiple discussions. Never harassed. I'd like to know, actually, I would like in writing who I harassed. When I ever, and you said threatened. Who did I threaten? I want to know who. I want it in writing, because you just claimed that I harass people and I threaten people, right?
I did.
Right, I want the statements of that and I want the names.
Don't have to provide them to you, Andrew.
Well, you will if I go get a lawyer. Is that what this council wants now? We're playing semantics over words. People are mad that I'm coming in asking questions. Now the answer is, oh, you're threatening and harassing because you're exercising your charter rights and redressing your grievance. You're happy to have me come here, but I guess not no more now, right? Because I might be harassing and threatening.
I'm asking you to not harass and threaten the staff.
Who did I harass and threaten?
So please do not harass and threaten
Who?
our staff or anybody allowed.
I will not harass or threaten whoever you believe I threatened, and I don't know who they are. So I can't help you there because it's a made-up scenario. Who did I threaten?
Thank you for your commitment.
Who did I threaten?
So I believe our time's now expired. Does anyone have questions for Andrew?
No one? Everyone's cool with this? No one's gonna mention who I threatened and harassed since you're all here together? Am I allowed to come here and redress my government?
You can always book a delegation. We do have some rules and our procedures about that, but for the most part, you're
Sure,
welcome.
I've done it before. Not answered. I've done the delegate before. Not answered. You guys are working on it, you're aware.
Were you hoping for more of an answer tonight? Because I thought we kind of gave you a bunch of answers.
Well, you haven't, you give me the same answer. You're aware of stuff.
So
You're
just
aware of
so-
stuff, I've threatened people, I've harassed people. This is what my takeaway is. I've threatened people, harassed people, even though we don't know who they are. We're not disclosing who I threatened or harassed. You made a claim that's gonna go out on the internet that I personally threatened and harassed people when I never did. Never did. Why didn't the cops come? Why wasn't 911 called? If I'm threatening someone and they're in fear, why weren't the cops called? You know why? Because it didn't happen. Because I never threatened anyone, didn't harass anyone. I redressed my grievances. And now apparently that's threatening and harassing. Make-believe people. Unless the CEO is gonna say, I threatened her and harassed her. Because she's the one I've talked to the most about this. I normally don't talk to staff. I really don't. I come in and she'll tell you this. I asked to speak to her. Do I not? Absolutely. Have I ever threatened you? Have I ever put you in harm's way? Never. Never. But yet here we are.
So may I suggest that council shows restraint? Is the answer to some of the questions you were just posing. Thank you for your
You're
decision.
posting, well, say that again.
Council chooses to show restraint at times.
Oh, I thought you said respect.
No, restraint.
Okay, restraint. Okay, is that the new catch-all now, restraint?
Thank you for coming tonight.
Thanks, and I'll await the names of who I threatened. Thanks.
Moving to 9.4, grader discussion. So tonight, we wanted to spend a little more time talking about graders, new graders, used graders, yellow graders, or the other yellow graders. We've been looking at some pricing for some. Mr. Kushniryk has some thoughts. Mr. Neely will certainly have some thoughts about which brand he likes better. I think Councillor Blosha has some thoughts. Who wants to spend a little time discussing graders? Do you want to lead us off, Mr. Kushniryk?
Not a whole lot.
I'll start then.
Okay.
It's my opinion, and it's only my opinion, that a Cat machine is a better machine than a John Deere. Mechanically wise. Now, it might be a little quieter in the John Deere, I don't know that. Carrie said that it is, I don't know. But for many, many years, it was Cat graders we had here. And then Brandt started up in town, they had a shop, and back in those days, we thought, well, maybe we're better to buy where we have local repairs available to us. So that's why it swung that way. So now we're about 40-60 Cats, and John Deere's at the 60%, right? So 3 out of 5 are John Deere's. Personally, I'd like to see us buy a 160 Cat, whether it be all-wheel drive or not. We had a meeting with Chad, our lead hand, last week, and he's praising how the all-wheel drives are so good when it's ridging and stuff. However, we do have 2 all-wheel drives now. I'm not sure, but I think an all-wheel drive is like a 4-wheel drive truck. It likely burns a little more fuel. That's my take on it. Now, whether we buy new or not, well, you know where I come from there. So, you know, we like to have warranty, but warranty costs you money too. Okay, there's no hiding that. It's built in. And something was mentioned to me by our Reeve that if we get rid of a grader, we're better off to put it in an auction than we are to trade it off, because you don't get anything for them, or half maybe what you should get on a trade-in. So I'm leaning towards a good used 160M, or what is it, an M3 they call it, the 4-wheel drive? Something along that line would be my preference. A little bigger machine can handle the one ways. I mean, that's, you know, something with 5,000 hours would be, in my mind, pretty good.
Is the 160, is that just the joystick only? No steering wheel?
There's a million options on these Cats. The 160 M3 isn't necessarily even all-wheel drive. They make it not all-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. So it's just never ending. But
Well, and it was mentioned to me by somebody that we should buy what the grader operators want, or our equipment operators, let me rephrase that. The thing is, they're not here. They're here today, but they could be gone tomorrow somewhere else. So we buy this, but we can't.
I'd mentioned the one that I'd put a little consideration of that, but the next guy I like the opposite.
That's the
So
thing,
it's-
you don't know, you know.
Yeah.
So. But that's where I stand on it.
Was it Brad came up with the used prices? Do you have those used prices you posted?
Oh,
Or is that a
I
while
could
back?
dig them up. I mean, there was a variety of just a few options there just to show the spread. There's one particular one in Yorkton that I'd showed Terry.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd shown that one to too many people. It's a
160M.
It's an M3. It's a
No,
little higher on
that one
hours.
isn't, that's the one in Regina.
No, one in Yorkton.
Is it a all-wheel drive?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, it's just
Yeah, the one in
four-wheel-
Regina was all-wheel drive.
That's for 409 or 419.
419.
Yep. So there's one in Yorkton that's a little bit higher hours.
How high?
So
Se-
near
7,000.
7,100 I think on it. It's been a municipal grader. It's got all its fluid tests done from finning and everything else. They say it all checks out. It's got good tires. It says it's ready to go to work. Everything's excellent. So the thought process on one like this, it's a little higher hours than we want, right? But the price range, they're asking 230. So you're $200,000 difference to drop to that. That was a 6,000 hour machine, isn't it?
7.
The one in Regina.
Yeah, I think it was 6, the one in Yorkton 7.
Yeah, so there's only a 1,000 hour difference for $200,000. Like I said, they have all the checks, it's all being serviced by CAT. It's joysticks, it's what the guys want. So in my mindset is, it's the same value as what the 140 is probably worth. If you park them side by side, guys would be very happy to have the 160 versus the 140. We can afford to buy it, keep the 140, put the mulcher on the front of the 140 or the V-plow for ridging in the winter. You'd have like one maintenance machine and you'd still have the 160. But I have no idea where anybody's head's at, and
Is the mulcher plumbed for the 140?
yes,
The cat 140?
yes.
Because I knew it was plumbed, but I just didn't know which
The
one.
140 wing will apparently go straight onto that 160.
The only thing we know for sure is we don't want another 140.
No.
That we've at least settled. We have been poking around for service, so we found some local people that can service cats. So we don't always have to bring cat here from someplace far away. So Fermin Yorkton does it. There's also a couple local guys that do it. So, you know, like you said, with the John Deere, the idea at one point was a local service person. And so we do have that somewhat with Timber for John Deere stuff. They're kind of good at that. But we have found some people that are pretty close that are good at cat too. So, you know, if we're going into the cat realm, we're not having to always have someone come from very far away to do service on the machine. We have some local options for that too, which makes, you know, that part a moot point. We can focus back more on the machine, which, you know, certainly our experience as of late has been the cat machines aren't breaking as much.
We really want to go with a Cadillac, we'll go with a Komatsu or a Volvo.
Do they make Volvo yet or not?
That used to be Champion. Volvo was
Do they still
Champion
make
in the old
Volvo?
days.
I know we had a Volvo one.
It
That
was
a
one
heavy-
time, yeah.
That was a heavy machine.
Yeah, we bought it when we got the one-ways, because
Yeah.
we figured we wanted to have a heavier machine so
That
we
was
could
a
get thrown
heavy-
around so much.
That was a heavy grader, that one. Volvo, yeah. Okay, so where's the, you have the machines listed? These are the ones that you were looking, or gonna look at,
I
or?
didn't look at anything too specific because I don't know where anyone is, what they really want to do. You know, I can justify that 7,000 hour machine, and in my thoughts, okay, if it's a dud, even if that thing blew a motor, it's still a $100,000 machine a year later. There's not a lot of money on their table. We would have a maintenance machine in the 140, a spare in the 870 when we build it, and still 4 to do roads full time. However, if we want lower hours, how badly do we want them? Because it's $200,000 to go down 1,000 hours.
I think we need the lower hours. Every time we're buying someone else's headache. After the 5,000 hours, I know it used to be like every few years, bought a new grader. That's how it went. And that's how
we
it
used-
should go back.
We used to
In
keep-
my opinion, I'm
It's
sorry.
big money now.
I'm just tired of buying someone else's headache
It's not
and
big.
spending hundreds of thousands fixing them.
A new machine used to be 400,000, now it's what, 7?
I think Manitoba's
Eight
too
now.
was looking for a used machine, aren't they?
Well,
I think I saw
anything
somewhere
else,
like everything else,
anything
it'll
else.
double.
Used is one thing, but 7,100 hours, 71.
What we used to do, we try to buy a grader, a brand new one every 2 years.
That's
So
exactly
We keep
right.
the machine for 8 years. And in those days, we were getting about $1,500 a year on our graders. Now around 1,200, I think. And we'd trade them off at 11,000, 12,000 hours and get another new one and just keep rotating that way.
So with that thought process, with a 7,000 hour machine, you're thinking you still have 5,000 hours before you'd be at that trade point. Right, so there's still there's 4 years roughly of
Yeah.
life in this thing, so
Yeah,
you're
oh
only
yeah.
paying 50,000,
Yeah.
60,000 we'll say per
I
year.
mean, yeah, if you get a dud, you get a dud, doesn't matter what it is, but I mean,
Yeah.
yes.
So you're paying-
Hypothetically speaking, yes.
But you're paying about 60,000 in set fixed costs per year to take it up to 12,000. Whereas if you buy that new machine right now, you're looking at 100,000 a year basically
Yeah.
to do that same thing.
Appreciation.
Cause it's expensive now, it's crazy.
Well, they're what, $780,000 or something, somewhere in that ballpark.
So my concern, and why I keep poking at you folks, is because if these tariffs become serious at some point, and we see retaliatory tariffs, graders are not built in Canada. And so if tariffs come into play in a week or two's time, or a month or two's time, very quickly the used market will become a lot tighter. And we'll start to see those prices increasing. Which is why I kind of keep poking at council, like, give us some direction. Are we gonna buy a new one? Are we gonna buy a used one? What are we gonna do? So we're not sitting here 4 months from now saying, gee, they went up $100,000. Why didn't we do it sooner? So that's kind of the thought process I'm at. Is like, so what's our plan? I don't know the answer to the used to the new. I would buy used because I'm cheap. But I can totally understand the idea of buying a brand new one and having one brand new one and letting it go. And if it was mine, drive it into the ground, drive that thing for 18,000 hours, we can get out of it. But I don't want us to push the decision so far that we're now in July and August saying, well, look how much they went up because of Trump.
Did Brad say this machine in Yorkton is ready to go?
He says it's ready to work, swears up and down, says we can call Finning, we can call whoever. They would give us all the test results.
This is a four-wheel drive, not six.
No, yeah,
It's a
six.
four-wheel drive,
Yeah.
what the heck was it,
so
20,
it's like Paul's grader,
it's a 2019?
Yep.
I recall 2019,
the same as Paul's.
joysticks is what they want.
Well, I'd say,
We can't do that without going to see it. We have to do all.
Yeah, I know,
diligence,
I know.
right? We're just not a just tonight decision. We just need more direction, because if we're thinking of doing that, we would send somebody there, go drive it, check it, make sure it's
Yeah.
okay, right? We
Yeah.
haven't done any of that, because we're not really sure we're doing that. When we bought the used one before, what sold me was that it was a municipality that every couple of years traded two graders out and put two new ones in, and sent two out and put two new ones in. So it wasn't one that they said, oh, we gotta get rid of this one. It was just these two, it's time to go. Which is why I was kind of on board with it then, because it came out of a place, two of them came out at the same time. We just randomly picked one of them. You know, it wasn't a, hey, let's get rid of this grader because type thing. It's just what they were doing, which I kind of liked, because it's still had warranty. They never said there was any trouble with it. It was just one of those feel good, okay, well, they just want to have a new one. And it just happens to be the two they're getting rid of this year. I'm a little more leery when it's one grader that's someplace and everybody's like, oh yeah, well, we decided to get rid of that one and it's really cheap. I worry a little bit why they chose to get rid of it, right? I'd like to hear that story of why. You know, they've always, for the last 20 years, have always got rid of a grader every 2 years, and this was just this one's time. Okay, I can buy that. But if they use all their graders until 12,000 hours, but this one they got rid of at 700 for some reason, I'd like to know that. I don't know if they ever tell you, but you know what I mean? Like that to me,
Yeah,
that's
well-
why the used one before, to me, was more justified, because, you know, it wasn't just a, hey, let's get rid of it, it was just, this is what they've always done. You have your hand up?
Yep.
I don't know if that's,
The thing with the new one, is you buy a new one, you can put your $11,000 on it, but you know where the hours came from.
Exactly.
You buy something with $7,000, you don't know how they drove that thing, and now you're gonna get onto it and you're gonna drive for $2,000 on it, and it's gonna, oh boy, that thing's eating antifreeze like it was juice, you know? If you're gonna buy a grader, $2,000 the most if you're buying a used one. You're gonna pay money for it, maybe we're gonna have to look at the difference between a used one with $2,000 and a brand new one with warranty. If there's not much different, well, like you said, drive it for a few years, warranty's getting ready to run out, trade it in.
I think we used to trade them in when they had a little bit of warranty yet, that kind of gave it a little bonus.
Well, sure, well, sure.
And they'd still sell more at auction, like the trade-in,
Yeah.
when we look at them, we're getting about $100,000 less on trade-in than the graders sell for at auction at the same time, same age. Because it's just how it is, right? They kind of see a municipality coming and we'll take whatever they give us for it, so we just take it. Whereas we'd probably always be better off selling it someplace else, especially if it's got warranty on it.
Yeah.
Especially if the name is still on it.
Oh, no, leave the name stuff,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I know where it came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Cause I mean, 7,000 hours, this grader at 6,000 hours could start nickeling and diming them to death. This one at 6,000 hours, a different grader, it could be doing exactly the same thing, and all you're buying is somebody else's headache. Cause you gotta look at your downtime, fixing it. I mean, that, everything costs money.
So are we thinking cat, is that sort of the,
I think so.
this is cat? So we could get quotes for new cats, because we've only had John Deere so far for sample quotes, so we could get, ask the cat folks for what they have in stock new, so we could see that. And then we could
Do
look
we
at some
have to
of
go to
these
more than one dealership, or?
They qualify for Sourcewell, so in theory, that's pre-tendered. New ones should be
Something through the province or something,
A&M
isn't it?
pre-tenders, so they, all the cats are pre-tendered for whatever they are. So we can basically just get the pricing on them and take a look. And we can circulate that as soon as it comes, so it'll take a few days, we can email it out to everybody to see. Do we want to look at used ones as well and see what's out there, see if we can find anything?
Look at
about
everything,
I'd say so.
look at it,
Yeah.
look at everything, I think.
I mean, my one concern is the years on our machines are starting to get all close to the same, you know?
We gotta start doing something.
I guess my other question, can we afford an $800,000 tractor, you know, like, I guess that's,
Can you afford to have 3 machines down at the same time too?
if I got 6 of them, yeah,
We're not a dealer.
we got backups, we got backup.
To me, just quickly in my head, if you're gonna go new, and I'm not opposed to new, because I mean, I don't think there's any point looking at the 5,000 or 6,000 hour machine then, because they're 400,000, 5 years old. You may as well get the new and trade it off or sell it for 400,000.
Well, basically, that's a big equipment, it's more about the hours, but I mean,
Yeah, that's kind of where they're landing, but if
You
we're
know.
gonna do that, I think we gotta be prepared to do
See, we got what?
400K a year just to graders. That's our grader is 400K a year, because you're eventually gonna have 4 machines then on that payment plan.
see, we got that old John Deere, 11.5, that's the one that's broke down, right? $11,500. And then Paul's machine's got $8,400. Dwayne's has got 6,000. Chris has got 4,300. That's our newest machine, it's a 2020. That's what I mean, it's 2025 now already, and I'm just,
Do any of these have warranty, Terry?
Chris is still.
Chris's
Bill
would have
Chris,
warranty,
yeah.
yeah.
it's up to what,
It's
5,000
I
hours?
don't know if it's 5 or 6,
300K,
it's one of those.
And
You don't pay
Ralph's
full
grader,
amount
that
for
772 has got $8,350. Well, this was the
That's
big
what
level,
the
so this
875
is
so that's a safe number.
The other thing we need to somewhat address sometimes.
So then let's go new.
Is
I don't care either
like,
way.
when grader operators are moving from area to area, they're taking the machine with them.
Chris is good.
Because when we
Tom's good.
originally did this, we had the right machine for the right area, so the hills had the machine that drew the hills.
Oh, yeah.
And then that machine disappeared off someplace else, because that
Pick a plan
person
and
tried
do
to
it,
pick
because
this
this
new
is
area.
just
We have to
too
stop
much
doing that.
talking now. and-
So we have to put the right machine in the hills, the right machine in
Yeah,
Alpine,
the
so we
6-wheel
have,
drive's gotta be,
yeah.
When you get up to
Their
7,
premium is so high, you may as well just
buy them.
play it.
I'd say get prices from new and used from,
Okay, so we'll get lightly used.
yeah.
We might get 1 or 2 of the 5,000, just so you could see what they're worth at 5,000 hours, not necessarily buying one, but looking at that. Okay. We'll make it so.
I'd love to find a 160M, about a 22 or 23 with 3,000 or 4,000 hours on it maybe.
Now,
2,000 hours in BC.
are we just looking for the
2,000
4-wheel?
hours on it in BC.
I'd say,
There's NBC
but
with
that's
2,000 hours on
used,
it.
could be used, could be.
Used wide open, but if we're going new,
For around
are we
600,000.
going all-wheel or just 4-wheel?
Might as well buy new.
Well, that's what I said. You
Yeah,
want both, you're getting that close, you're getting that
Yeah,
close.
like I don't know
Yeah,
the
yeah.
price.
Yeah.
Quote both all-wheel and four-wheel.
Yeah, so we can see the difference in them new.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything.
What was it, 30,000? No, 3, how much was the difference between the all-wheel and the four-wheel?
I don't know, Brian.
And joysticks? And are we moving our attachments over to it, or do you want new attachments?
But the cat, you said that the cat graders fit our attachments, no?
Well,
On the most part?
the 140 for whatever, Dwayne looked at that one in York and said it's the same hookup. Now that could be different to a different machine. I don't know enough about it.
So we have capital I quick attaches in the front. And we have 2 of them on cats now, 3 on John Deere. So if the 140 was never going to have a plow on it, the quick attach would move over, we'd just put the mulcher on it and leave it there.
But if we keep the 140,
Well, if we keep the 140 and you want to plow with it, we might get a quick attach.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So we can move the plows around. That would be,
I think that'd be the way to go.
Guess the next thing is we're gonna decide which one we're gonna get rid of.
Oh, I got a list of 2 there.
Which one is plumb, you said the 140 is plumb for the mulch, right?
Yes.
Is that the one we're keeping, or
And that's an
one-
all-wheel drive.
That could be, oh, okay.
Like, it's good for summertime. It's good for ridging in fields. It is not good for plowing roads. They should never plow a road unless we're desperate. But it's good for other things. And I'm a farmer from way back. We've never sold a tractor yet. Just drive until they die. You know, like, the maximum value of those graders, even this 870 that we're gonna fix now, when you look at the fixing of it for what that's gonna cost, we're gonna get our money back out of it. But at some point, you know, if we fix it and we drive it and got that money back out of it and it's dead, scrap heap. You know, like, at some point, you know, those final few hours are practically free until that next big breakdown where we say, you're done, scrap value. And even as it sat, somebody was willing to give us $70,000 for it not working. So it's never totally dead, right? There's always some value left in it. Okay.
I was just gonna say, it'd be nice to put that 140 mulcher to work in Ward 6.
Oh, zip it. Sorry, just came out.
9.5, gravel hauling, crushing, there's dust control in here. These are the tender documents from last year. So the next week or two, we're kind of intending to get these reissued out to people. So I just put them there. I know they only got on there this afternoon, so if you see something the next day or two when you read through them that you think should be changed, the one thing I know we're going to do on the hauling, we're going to make clear about fuel surcharge.
Yes.
Because last year there was some discussion about that, so we're going to put in there that the fuel surcharge has to clearly show, and if there is fuel surcharge, it has to be actually related to the price of fuel in a way we can calculate what it is. So we'll just put some language around that so there's no surprises. I think we'll keep those 2 areas again, if everyone's fine with that. We might award both to the same place, but we'll have that option in case there's some opportunity there. The crushing, I think, we'll do the same as it was unless somebody comes up with anything different. The dust control, we're in for the same thing again. So we'll try and get those out to you in the next week or two so people have some time to get back and can make some decisions in March and not leave things too late. Which brings us to 9.6, the mower tractor. So we thought we had fun about graders, let's talk tractor. So the North mower tractor, I was speaking to the lead hand today, he says it's smashed to smithereens. He's never seen a tractor so poorly treated as that one. Everything's broken. It's the one that stopped going.
The Ford.
Yes. So we've had it over at the dealership waiting for them to get to look at it. They've done that now. So the quotes came yesterday. It requires a front clutch pack in the transmission. That repair will be $23,000. The hydraulic pump is said to be weak. That's a $15,000 touch to fix that. The recommendation from the dealer is they believe the tractor's only worth $5,000 as it sits, which it doesn't go, so it's not a huge surprise. They said even if it was fixed, it would probably be worth $50,000. And I said, great, so you have one just like it for $50,000 we could buy? Well, no. Well, show me a $50,000 tractor, because I bet we'd buy a $50,000 tractor tonight if it works. Do you have one? Well, no. They have a $230,000 tractor that's just like it.
Plastic on the seat.
That's used. Oh no, it's used for $230,000. So we need to give some direction of whether or not we're fixing this thing. I'm told the air conditioning is a little weak. I'm told there's something rather that might be leaking a bit, but it wasn't in the summer, but it might be now. Can you tell I was getting a sales pitch for why we need a new tractor? What's everyone's thoughts on this? Do we dump some money into it? We don't have to do the pump right away, but we could. We could just do the transmission so it moves again and then drive it to an auction yard and see what it fetches. Or we could do the transmission and see if it mows for another year or two. It's an 08, so we're 15 years on it roughly, but it's had some pretty rough life. If we bought a new one, we're getting up into that 300 range. So if you think 15 years on that, we're about $20,000 a year for the tractor, which this is 23 to fix it. We might get a year or two out of it. So we need to have that same discussion over again. What are people thinking? Where should we be going? Because I don't want to dump $40,000 into fixing it.
If we fix it and get a year out of it, it's not gonna be worth any less next year. As long as it's running, you know what I mean.
We're mowing in a couple months and we got graders to worry about. We could fix it, have it for this year and have it on the books for,
That was just one quote on that one tractor, I mean, should we
should shop around.
shop around a bit?
we have no idea the cost.
How's the John Deere, the other south one?
Well, the pitch I got today is it's in fine condition,
Oh, okay.
but call me
That's
whatever.
today's, that's
It is
today.
about the same year,
They're similar, but I
Well,
don't
It's
about the
newer,
same
time.
John Deere's newer.
Couple
not
years.
much ago.
No?
Maybe a 10. We
Yes.
bought them very close together, them two tractors. I remember right, way back.
I always thought if the air conditioning still works in a tractor, it's not a bad tractor, but
No, if the radio's still working, if the radio's working, it's a good tractor. If the radio's not working, it's.
we've had one with air conditioning for a few years now.
So you're saying on that tractor, if we fix it, it's worth 50,000, you said?
What they said is they think this is only a $50,000 tractor.
If it's fixed.
And well, and so I just rolled out, it's like, so you have one for 50 that's just like it but working? Cause we'll buy it.
Yeah.
Well, no, we
what is
don't.
it?
Well, then
It's
it's
a
not a
2008
$50,000
Ford.
tractor.
Pardon me?
What is it? It's a Ford,
Ford is a Ford, I don't know what number, but.
Well, it's all-wheel drive, I don't know what
I don't know
number
what
it
model, eh?
I know
It's about 140 horse,
What's that?
140 horse,
is. I don't know the model number.
I don't know.
What's that tractor
I
worth right
imagine
now?
front wheel assist.
Yeah, I think
It's
so.
worth nothing the way it is, or is it worth at least something?
They said
$5,000.
$5,000.
5,000, so then,
Hard to change the
so
wheels
this-
for that nowadays.
One of them that's sitting in Roblin is a T7 210, was just a suggested possible one. It's 250 with 770 hours on it. So that'd be about the size of tractor we need.
trade ours in, give him 245 to.
Well, once again, I guess we gotta see what's out there and
Now, my thought was if we replace the thing, it's only worth $5,000, let's just take it over to the school and tell them to fix it.
Yeah.
And see if we get a working tractor after a few months. They'd love to do that.
Because like you're saying, if the hydraulic pump is weak and you say, well, fix the clutch or whatever, and then,
So, and to be fair, like we've asked around and nobody here knows the hydraulic pump is weak. They say everything was working fine. So we don't know why we're told the hydraulic pump is weak because we never reported
put the
that.
pressure on it maybe?
Maybe.
Put the pressure gauge on it, maybe it's not putting out, but I mean, you know, if it's weak, could go out in a month's time, it could go out midsummer, and then you've got no tractor for 2 months.
I found your $50,000 tractor. It's a 1985. And that's American dollars.
So we can again obtain quotes on new, look at this for used, and then we need to make a decision fairly soon. Because if we're fixing this thing, we need to get to it.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely, it's, yeah.
Because the time is ticking already for mowing season.
And you better shop around for where to fix it, cause there's a big lineup of things getting fixed at the, if you're fixing it at the dealer, well, you can probably say it's not gonna get fixed in time.
Well, they called yesterday, say, we've diagnosed it, do you want us to do this? Because we're ready to start on it because it's sat there for 6 months now.
Okay,
Waiting in
so
line.
that's why, okay, so we were in line,
Yeah,
okay.
we were in line,
Yeah, then,
yeah. That was the trouble we had last year, was we waited in line for 3 months. But
You're
this been in
throwing
line.
20, you're
a long
throwing
time.
28,000, right? You said 15 and 13?
It's 23
It's
plus
38,
15.
right?
They're probably,
38.
they're probably figuring that you gotta split the tractor, put the clutches in, and then they might as well put the hydraulic pump in at the same
Oh,
time,
yeah,
because instead of splitting
Same-
it again next
same
If
year.
you got
labor.
overlapping
Yeah,
labor, you
yeah.
gotta do it at once.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense.
Is the tractor look, I haven't seen it. I mean, I've seen it, but I mean, does it look abused?
Yeah, I'm told the signal light's busted off it. General Little didn't look after it too well sometimes.
Geez, I mean, that's too, it doesn't look the best.
Had a few different operators on that last few years.
We're really hard on equipment, like, there's no argument there. We're hard on equipment.
This thing stays on the road all the time, doesn't it?
Presumably.
Supposed to, with the swing away, it's always supposed to be on the road. How can you get it abused?
Are we good with that?
But we should make, like you say, a decision quick, like you're saying with the tariffs coming on and that, like, I mean,
That's my fear, like, if we
Yeah.
get into this and we start doing reciprocal tariffs, and we start seeing 10 or 15% on things coming in, you know, what's here already is gonna get eaten up very quickly. And then the used market's gonna get eaten up, we're seeing this pressure on prices go up and up on everything. And we don't wanna get caught in that if we don't have to. Okay,
So, prices will go out then, or request?
we'll get some new quotes.
For the next
Well,
meeting.
that can
Do
be
we
for the
care
next
what
week.
color tractor this is? So we'll get quotes on a couple different colors?
Yeah, go for the orange one, maybe, orange one, eh, the Kubota. Or is it Kubota? Try
Okay,
the Kubota, they seem to be like a popular stuff.
okay, so we'll do some quoting on that, we'll look and see if there's anything that makes sense used, and we'll firm up a little bit, we'll shop around this repair too maybe, and see if there's something
Yeah, I
else
would
that might
shop
be
the
cheaper.
repair
No.
around.
Yeah.
Are you looking for, you said this one's 140 horse that we have?
That's what Byron figured.
The Ford that we have. So was that underpowered or was that good? What did they say?
For the 10-foot mower, I think it was okay, the 15, I don't know.
So maybe we should look at 160, then maybe just have
I
that
think
extra.
I think this other one that, you were showing pictures that, I think that is a little bit more horsepower,
Okay.
so 10 or 15 more.
So about 160 then.
We should have a big enough tractor that we can totally destroy that mower.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, we'd hate to have something so small that you
No, no,
can't
see-
wreck the mower with.
No, say if you were to hook it onto the 15 footer, then is it underpowered? I just don't know.
How's your memory? Is this the one we took the PTO out of twice? Or is this the other tractor? Because one of them we took the PTO out of twice in 1 year.
I'm pretty sure it was green,
Okay.
Green one?
pretty sure. But I can't say for sure, but
Yeah.
I
I just know one of
find
the two of
myself
them.
leaning that the
Yeah.
green did that.
One of the two of them, the mower was unbalanced. Where we took the PTO out of the tractor, got that all fixed, took the mower on it, took the PTO out of the tractor the second time.
Finally diagnosed the problem?
Yeah, we diagnosed the problem.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Are the mowers good?
No, they're smashed.
No, the one that the 15 footer I think is good shape, isn't it? There's
It's
this
better.
10 footer though, can it be repaired to,
Well, so here was what's supposed to happen, right? I was here when we bought the 15. We said, we'll buy this 15, because there's a lot of places 15 is good, and we have two 10s. So we'll keep the two 10s, we won't get rid of one, we'll use the 15, but in some places we'll use the other 10, and we'll have a spare. So that was really clear here. I thought that was really clear out there too. So the first time something broke on the first 10, they took a part off the other 10 and put it on. And the next time something broke, they stole another part. So they've almost parted out the 110, and I'm like, but that's the spare. Oh no, we used it for parts machine. No, you don't understand. When you broke something off, fix what you broke off without destroying the other mower. So now they're, oh well, that one's just useless because we stole all the parts. Well, put the parts back. Well, that would cost money. I know, and it should have cost money to fix the mower in the first place when you broke something. Every time we break a wheel off a mower, first of all, you wonder how, and secondly, you think we should just put a new wheel on it instead of stealing one off another mower. But yeah, so we have a 10 that works that's smashed crap. We have a 15 that's not as smashed, and we have a 10 that's somewhat smashed but missing a lot of parts.
so do I have more to work for then this spring?
Like,
What do you
how
got in
many
your
hours
shed?
is okay on that?
Those little riding
How
ones.
many hours is okay on
We're gonna have to float alone here in this case.
I just want to say something,
Like,
like,
the 2018 Kubota,
I'm a John Deere
2,000
man.
hours on it,
are you familiar with an
148
8440,
Oh, yeah, I think
8450, something like that?
From
No?
wheel system.
Brad?
Not a tractor boy.
You know?
Brad,
What's
are
that?
you familiar with an 8440 or 8450 John Deere?
No.
Like, I mean, they're pretty cheap tractors. Like, I mean, we could buy something like that and put
Cheap
on.
like 100,000?
No, they'd be less than that. Are you familiar with them, an 8440, 8450, like, they're nice tractors, you can find, and put that on a 15-foot mower, and that would cut grass like ever.
Yeah. So what are they worth?
Would you say 50, 40?
Well, that's it.
Yeah,
They're an
like,
older
it's not
tractor.
too, they're an older tractor, but I mean, they last forever.
Like I was just showing Carrie here, I have no idea about this stuff. Here's a 2018 Kubota, 148 horsepower. It's got 2,000 hours at front wheel assist, comes with the bucket, grapple, all that stuff. 165K is asking price. It's not horrible.
Nope. No.
And
See
that's,
how many hours. Just-
Those are all
I'm just
front wheel
asking.
assist tractors, right?
These are four-wheel drive
That's a
tractors, they
manual.
could, you can
Or the actual-
find,
We don't.
They're actual
they're advertised
four-wheel
on,
They're going up in price though, eh? Like you said, the sooner,
Yeah.
like
that's when you know
spring
where
is
you're
rolling
buying
around.
from, and you're just in line.
Well, not
Before
mine,
you were
from
thinking-
Brad.
No, it's
Rent
random.
tariffs.
Yeah.
Yep. We used to have that with some people.
Market
The guys who
supply
lined up, I always
control,
buy
yeah.
their trade. You know.
That's what we're,
are we good to leave it there and we'll come back with some numbers?
Yep.
yes.
All right. I don't believe we have correspondence or unfinished business, so we'll have committee reports. I will start with Councillor Kushniryk.
I had LUG, we did discuss some financial stuff. I don't know if we wanna go into that more tonight, or if we wanna save it for the budget meeting, or what we wanna do.
Likely voted.
But that's really about it for me.
Councillor Blosha.
I didn't have any other meetings since our last meeting.
Okay.
Transportation meeting.
She was.
Oh, yeah, I was at the transportation meeting. Oh, geez, I need
You
that
forgot?
paper back.
You forget?
Councillor Burick.
Thanks.
I attended a transportation meeting, a few of us did, and quite a few topics that we talked about. My main concern was roads in Ward 6.
Can't imagine.
Really?
Roads in Ward 6.
I wasn't even there when you-
5-2, you have a concern too, but I mean, we wanted our lead hand to come up with a plan to work on them this year and next year to rebuild them, fix them, repair them, do whatever. But remember, we talked about some of these roads that had big banks and he was gonna haul them away, right? I was thinking of that the other day. Why can't we pull it into the middle of the road? Like with our graders. Pull them in, like there's sand, if it is sand, these roads are sand anyways.
Well, but dirt is different, you don't.
No, but I mean,
all dirt.
pull it to the middle, because that's gonna cost a pile of money
So-
hauling away.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, that's something that he was supposed to come up with. But, I drove bus today and a lot of the, you can see the machine plowed the side of the roads, like they're clean, the shoulders. It'd be nice to work in the spring when it dries up, there's no sod, eh?
Yeah.
Like the sod is all cut, it'd be nice to, and there's a lot of roads that just need tickled up. They don't need much excavation. So I mean, it can be done, but he's gonna come up with a plan. In the
No.
next transportation meeting we have,
Not to nitpick, but
Ward
if
6.
we go back to way back, we did discuss, you were supposed to pick a mile of road in Ward 6 that we were gonna send 140 with the mulcher on, and you never gave us a mile.
I gave you my mile, nobody wanted to do it. I said if we
So
damage,
pick a mile and then we'll be ready.
I said if we damage my mile, at least I'll be the complainer, won't have a delegation in here complaining about it, but anyway.
We tease Brian all the time,
Yeah.
but our lead hand did admit that his roads are pretty bad.
Yes. Yeah, well, like, you know, I don't wanna complain, but Ward 6 has the elevator. And it's just like your heart. All the arteries to the heart, the closer the heart, the more they get working. And like, I mean, that Ward 6, that gets a lot of pounding. And Alpine, sure, they get big trucks there, but not that much, it's less and less, but more and more as you come to the elevator.
Have you heard about the yield in Alpine lately? Oh,
What?
big yield, big.
You know what I mean? So it's, like you say, Chad, he said that Ward 6, the roads need work, need attention.
Well, the
So,
big thing is the secondary ditches.
yeah, that's what we want to talk
And
about.
the crown.
I was telling Bill, I saw them use a mulcher down by Winkler, and it was amazing. That road was like a brand new road after they went over it.
Oh, it is, it
Just
is.
a hurricane as they're going, because you can't just dust, but brand new road.
Like Minnetonka, they have a tow behind, and I posted pictures last year, I think I sent you some pictures too, beautiful job, like they pulled the
That's
shoulders
the
in. Mulcher, they got
Yeah.
a tow behind.
Yeah, because we have the mounted one.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful job, but I mean, we gotta get it done, and like, you know, you can't do it in the fall or summer when you got 2 feet or 3 feet of grass, it's hard to work with all that sod, you gotta keep it cut and start early in the spring, but anyways, Chad, in Nick's meeting, he's supposed to come up with a plan, so I look forward to that. That was one meeting, and I went to yesterday's, G4. That was a good meeting, very informative, good topics. Our Reeve, I didn't know you were on so many committees.
Only 3.
Only 3. He's a very important man. Like, I mean, chairman of quite a few. You did a very good discussion, Bill. I really appreciate he was quick, to the point, and it was over with. And, it's good turnout.
So,
Kristi's gonna have to move
about
over to make room for his head. That's enough.
You missed that last presentation, his Brian. It went on for a while.
No,
maybe you should take some lessons on that.
it was good. It was good meeting yesterday. There was good turnout, good supper. Yeah, it was nice.
Brian had 5 pieces of chicken, that's all we could eat.
They had meat there, good thing they had meat. If they had no meat, I'd be, I don't know, chewing my nails. Anyways,
You
it's
done
good.
now?
I'm done.
Okay, Councillor Zbirun.
I don't even know what I did.
You were at the transportation meeting.
That
Yeah.
transportation meeting, watershed, we put an interim budget in. Rec board meeting last night, we talked about how the Bosfield went, and, they're redoing the kitchen, the main kitchen. and getting prices and this and that, and that's pretty much what we discussed.
Councillor Neely.
Well, once again, I was at the transportation meeting, but Brian pretty well covered it. Well, I thought it was a pretty good meeting. There was some kudos and some not kudos. Some, you know what I mean. There was a little bit of things mentioned, but not too serious. It was all really actually pretty good. And last night I was at the marathon in Minnesota. Yeah, there was quite a few presentations. I meant to grab my folder and bring it, but I didn't. But our fearless leader, yeah, that's one. But our fearless leader would like to give us a rundown on that. There was a lot of different presentations. Like, that must have been 10 or close to it, something like that. So we never got out of there until like 10:15 or something when the meeting was over. So supper was at 6, so she was a marathon.
Terry wanted breakfast.
Yeah, Larry didn't give me an answer. The kitchen's over there, help yourself, he said. But anyways, that's all I have, thank you.
Councillor McGregor.
Nothing to report?
Wow, that's kind of boring. So other than last night, let's take a peek at what there was. I was doing medical recruitment prep today, so we have our doctors coming on Monday and Tuesday. 3 of them will be here with their full families are coming up. So we're meeting Thursday evening to go over the final details of how that's going to work. But we'll be touring them through a couple different schools, through several facilities in town. We're also having some real estate people take them on a shopping trip to see what there is for houses. Earlier today, I mailed packages to the children of most of them, addressed to the children with a little travel pack for them for making the drive up here a little easier, so hopefully that catches their attention. I met with Ideal Group last Thursday. They were here about some video security stuff. Kristi and I both met with them, listened to them for quite a while, but then they went. We're going to look at some pricing just to see, but I don't think it's something we're going to pursue. Transportation meeting last week was pretty good. We were fairly calm during the meeting. I thought that was nice. Last meeting was so I was out to Benito Fire to test their antenna system on their paging, because they had some concerns about that not working correctly. So we did the testing, we put it all back together, and their paging system is now working. So that's all fixed and good again. We had an HR meeting, specifically meeting with a new staff member, and then I also took them out to the water plant. So we spent some time at the water plant in the evening, went through how everything works, just to see if they would be comfortable learning how to do that. So that was good. And I believe that takes us back to the last meeting. Last night, I don't know if there's anything to say, you've all covered it so well. How could I go on for another half an hour? We heard from a few people, so we had fisheries and wildlife out last night, so they're explaining to us the amount of hunting that goes on. Specifically, we're talking about outfitting. So the number of tags in the area for bear at the average price per tag works out to almost $4 million a year coming into the valley. It's the greater Swan Valley. It's not just the little valley, but the bigger valley area, which sees quite a lot of money coming in here from out of town. So it's a substantial thing. We've spoken about fishing, the commercial fishing, Lake Ronnquist, Swan Lake, Duck Bay, the amount of fishing they do there. We talked about how many hundreds of thousands of kilograms of fish that was, which again is a substantial amount of money coming into the area. So it's nice to kind of see some of that stuff you don't see every time just driving down the street, but it's happening. We had a presentation from the Manitoba COPP group. They're looking at doing some fundraising in the next little while. They're hoping to raise enough money to purchase 5 flashlights. The flashlights are $30 each. So they're hoping to hold some fundraisers and eventually come up with the ability to purchase those. They have their group going otherwise though. They said they were available to help the Swan River group if Swan River needs some help at some point. We had a presentation from the RCMP, which, you know, just in case we're having trouble following the numbers, presented all of the information twice in 2 different formats. So we had both a pie chart and then a line graph for each set of information, so visual learners could learn in different ways. That only took about half an hour to get through. Councillor Zbirun, you really missed out. We have a copy of the presentation for you.
I'm fine.
Yeah. We had a presentation from the Chamber of Commerce on video cameras and alarm systems. So we talked quite extensively about that. That's no nice way to say it. It felt like a lot of the meeting was, you know, it's not a secret, Minnetonka doesn't come to G4 meetings most times. So when there was a G4 meeting that was actually at Minnetonka, they were actually going to show up. Most of those presentations in the second half were geared at catching their council up to all the stuff they've missed in the last 2 years when they don't come to meetings. So for a lot of people in the room, it was repeat stuff we've all heard before, but their council was hearing it for the first time. So a lot of that stuff was just simply bringing Minnetonka up to speed on what's been happening in Swan River for the last year, or in some cases, the last couple of years. We talked about Rise, what Rise has been up to for the last year, which again was news to a lot of them. Looked at some future direction for Rise. I actually forgot to bring it tonight, but we have a survey for you all from Rise, so we'll get that to you next time around. Just to give us some thoughts on where do you think it should go next? Should it do this? Should it do that? What's your dreams to see for economic development, to get some input for the board? I spoke on behalf of Planning District for a little while. The same conversation we had here previously, so it's just a repeat of that into the bigger group. So nothing too new there. And we talked about the mutual aid agreement. Councillor Morio, as Deputy Mayor Morio, spent a lot of time reading that agreement to us line by line. And then there was debate, because why wouldn't there be debate over saving people from burning houses? Can't say there was a resolution last night. We might be closer to actually having a mutual aid agreement after 2 years of working on it.
Yeah,
We gave her a good shot.
if I could interrupt you,
Yeah.
I lost it near the end there. I couldn't understand what they were, like, all the fire chiefs have signed this thing.
Yes.
Now where's the ball now? Is it with each council to write a resolution
he's
to
in a
say
rock.
they agree with it, or?
So all councils except one have passed the agreement at least once. Some councils have now passed it 3 times in 3 different
There's
versions.
still one on the east end of the valley there?
Yeah, one council has not passed the agreement yet. At the end there, the conversation, I took some time, Kristi and I spoke about it after meeting, trying to distill that last 15 minutes of conversation. And it seemed to be that the concern was that they would have to ask other people's permission if they wanted to suggest a change. And no matter how many times we explained that if you want to make a change, we'd all have to agree to it, but you could suggest a change at any time. But they felt that to suggest a change, they'd have to first seek permission to suggest a change before they told us what the change was. And several of us took a stab at that, and we
Well,
just
that only
couldn't
took
quite.
15 minutes.
It's only 15 minutes. One of the other points of contention was the list of 4 places that are auto mutual aid dispatch, so Co-op Agro, LP, Spruce Products, and Richardson. And, you know, there's a list in the agreement of those 4 places never have billing, so we don't have some silliness where we say, well, we'll only send 1 truck to LP and see if we can handle it. So there was a lot of discussion about that, because then one municipality wants to start adding a bunch of other places to the list that really weren't necessarily appropriate to add. So we tried to explain those 4 places are special because when a call comes for that, we just keep sending trucks. We send the first closest truck, then we send the next truck, so we just keep sending more until the place says that's enough now. And so because of those status for those places, that's why they're special in the agreement. For any place else, like even say the co-op downtown, we only send the first couple trucks and then we call for more if we need them, because so often it's a false alarm or it's a little bit of smoke. But when the call is to LP, we just send trucks and trucks and trucks. Same Spruce Products, we get a call there, we just start sending trucks, because it's always bad when there's a call there. So we'll see. I'm sure within another year or 2 we will have that agreement hammered out and signed.
Didn't Councillor Mario say that he's gonna make up 1 resolution for everybody to sign?
Yes.
He's gonna make 1 up for,
We're probably not going to bring it back to our table until that one council has passed it. Because then everybody else has been fine with the agreement for the last 2 years. And we've made a bunch of little changes back and forth. The one clause I think we've changed 6 times now. And we've actually come all the way back to what it was in the beginning. But until that's approved there's no point us doing it again, because we're fine with every single version of it. Just sign the agreement. But that was most of the meeting. We had supper catered by Northern Lights. So it's pretty good. The potatoes are too hot to taste.
Very good supper.
For the most part, that covers off everything I have to share. Questions, comments between anybody on anything we've heard tonight? Hearing nothing, we'll take a recess for about 10 minutes. We will come back to go in camera. We have several applications for employment review tonight. We'd like to have a couple of HR matters we'll give a bit of discussion to, and that will be the evening. So we'll be in recess until everybody's back. Welcome back, everyone.
Yeah.
We'll move to 13.1. Be it resolved that pursuant to section 1523, the Municipal Council shall meet as a committee of the whole to close the meeting and continue discussions in camera regarding personnel matters, negotiations, preliminary discussions, investigations, or enforcement of an act or bylaw. Is there a mover? Oh my gosh. Let's have Councillor Burick and Councillor Neely. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. Any resolutions arising from in-camera discussions?
Oh, Carrie, that's a mistake.
I know.
Any notice of motion to present tonight? Bill number 15, adjournment. Be it resolved this meeting shall now adjourn at 9:18 p.m. Be it further resolved the next meeting is Tuesday, March 11th, 2025 at 7 p.m. I see Councillor Neely.
And my backup.
Councillor Blosha. Any discussion? Call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. Thank you for the meeting.